What caused again the massive surrenders, yung balik loob ng mga IP sa gobyerno? What happened?
During the 2020 to 2022, there's a massive surrenders. Umabot yan ng 35,000 because of the efforts of the INTF-ELCAC. A lot of them, especially in the IP communities. Kasi ang nagli-lead para mag-surrender yung mga tao is not the government. It's not even Juma season out there sa Netherlands or yung mga tao nila dito. Ang nagli-lead para bumalik kayo dito sa folds ng government is actually the community themselves. Sinasabi nila na, okay na tayo, we are being heard. Yung mga kapamilya nila, pinababa yung mga, their families, yung kasama nila sa community, sila mismo ang nagsasabi na bumaba kayo. Ito yung success ng INTF-ELCAC na hindi masyadong na-highlight, yung tinatawag nilang local peace process. It is the initiative of the community in the local government sa pinakamaliit na level, sa barangay level, ang nag-uusap para magkaroon ng peace and order sa kanilang barangay mismo. That never happened before kasi ang surrenders before, magkakaroon kayo ng pag-usap sa out of the country, out of the reach ng mga IPs. They don't even know kung anong pinag-uusapan doon. No?
Yeah.
So nobody is surrendering.
Yeah.
So right now, nagkakaroon ng efforts, halimbawa yung Barangay Development Program, nagkakaroon ng projects like maliliit na health stations, nagkakaroon ng maliliit na kalsada, pag-open ng mga kalsada sa mga areas nila. I think there's a strong commitment from the side of the IP to embrace the government. And while we say na andan yung CPP, it also shows sabi natin na the neglect coming from the government. No? So I feel that there is a responsibility from both sides, if not bigger responsibility from the part of the government, because it was the actions of the government that sometimes drew people away in going to the mountains.
And Attorney, you talked about yung vulnerabilities ng IPs, di ba? So, yung poverty, yung matinding kahirapan, at alam natin na sinadya ng CPP, NPA, NDF yan sa ating mga kapatid na katutubo, kung kaya't ang kahirapan sa katutubo, no, sa mga IPs ay extreme, hindi yung simple lang, no. So, and it was people like Franz Castro, Satur Ocampo, Bayan Muna, ACT, it was the CPP that made all of this possible, which is why itong case na ito, landmark itong conviction na ito. Why again? What does it mean to us? What does it mean, for instance, to you, attorney, no? You're an IP, you're a member of the Kankanay, no?
Yes,
correct.
Kankanay,
So, and what does it mean to you as an IP, as a lawyer, as a Filipino citizen, as a human rights expert, like Christina Palabay? Yeah.
Before I answer that, I would like to further comment doon sa sinasabi mong yung presence ng CPP.
Yes.
It is no coincidence that areas with the highest poverty incident happens in area na tinatawag nilang area of influence.
Yeah.
Kasi ilang years na ba yung party list nila dyan sa Congress for almost 20 years, 24 years. Yeah. Nakakita ka bang nagpatayo sila ng kalsada dyan, ng health center dyan, projects of development? Wala naman. And they call it their sphere of influence. It just so happen na it's not a coincidence that the highest rate of poverty happens in those places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, second is dyan sa ba talaga yung mga topic na ganito, no? We could talk, we can keep on talking days regarding this topic at hindi tayo mauubusan ng kwento.
I know, yeah.
But there always, let us celebrate small and big victory. And right now we had a very big victory for the indigenous peoples. Yung nangyayari pong na conviction ng isang sitting na congressman, no? May isa po tayong congressman ngayon na mas malala pa ang...
Pwede ba pasingit lang sandali, attorney? No? Yung gusto ko lang, yung sinasabi mo kanina, yung ginagawa nila sa Kongreso. And if you look at their bills, kung anong ginagawa nitong mga makabayan block na ito, itong mga CPP party list, puro proteksyon sa CPP, NPA, NDF, demilitarization ng mga certain zones, yung human rights bill nila na sila lang, ang definition lang nila ng human rights activist ay sila lang at sila pa yung tagabantay, yung mga ganong kalokohan ng mga baliw na yan, no? So ginamit talaga nila yung Kongreso na yan. Very potent weapon yan ng CPP, NPA, NDF. Kung kaya't kailangan natin by 2025, wala na yung mga yan. Okay, go ahead, attorney.
Actually, we can say that on air kasi hindi siya matters of opinion on our part. Yeah. When we were nasa OSG tayo, nag-file tayo ng disqualification against this party list
Yes.
Si Kabataan Party List saka si Gabriela Party List because nung nagkaroon tayo ng massive surrenders, they were able to give us the stories kung sino sila, ano yung ginagawa nila, what's the purpose of their organization. And that's why during that time, in 2020 and 2021, I suppose, it was the Republic of the Philippines. No, it's the official stand of the Republic of the Philippines that filed the disqualification case against this party list on the ground that they are using violence in order to pursue their advocacy. And that violence is attached to the utility of the New People's Army as being component sila ng CPP, NPA, NDF. So, I think andito naman yung ano natin, yung spokesperson natin ng Legal Cooperation Cluster that they can give us an update regarding these cases. No? So, these are not tinatawag nila sa atin na trump up speculations because we have the facts on our side.